That, in fact, the founders were so concerned with at the beginning of the country, they actually tried to support and subsidize organizations just like this because this was the kind of press they wanted. And then ultimately, we now live in an era where they've mostly been co-opted by big corporations or billionaire sugar daddies who've been able to control and manipulate what news and views a person is allowed to have or express or hear. And the InfoWars audience has broken through that. They are the bridge from the founding to the modern age of ultimate American democracy and freedom. And that's why there's been unprecedented onslaughts of deplatforming, defamation, lawfare, and libel targeting you.
But as you said, like the Star-Spangled Banner, in the morning the flag was still there, and now the enemy is getting really pissed and putting out giant mega hoaxes against us. I see it as a sign of weakness. We'll see what Bob thinks on the other side. Then we're going to play this news report, and I'll come back.
I was most proud of, for 8 years, there wasn't one single hint of a scandal.
The pressure from a trifecta of scandal. President Barack Obama trying to get ahead of just one of the 3 scandals now consuming the country's attention. That scandal involving the Secret Service and accusations of drinking and hiring prostitutes in Colombia. The Obama spying scandal.
The mother of all scandals, Spygate.
This is a big scandal. It's a huge scandal. The Gunwalker scandal. The VA scandal. VA scandal. It's a scandal telling America you can keep your doctor. A callous deception that hurts millions.
Today, widespread embarrassment about this scandal has really turned to disgust.
All of this comes as a White House that takes pride in being scandal-free has been hammered by a series of controversies. The latest, revelations the Justice Department obtained 2 months of telephone records of reporters at the Associated Press as part of a leak investigation.
I believe there's been a pattern, frustration in not taking responsibility for failures, avoiding blame, pointing the fingers in somebody else's direction. Would you agree with that? No. For 8 years, there wasn't one single hint of a scandal.
The CIA went into walled-off Senate computers in a bona fide investigation. It's been done of the detention and interrogation of detainees.
As far as the allegations of CIA hacking into Senate computers, nothing can be further from the truth.
CIA Director John Brennan apologized today after an internal investigation determined the agency had spied on staff members of the United States Senate.
Firestorm surrounding the IRS. Last night, we asked if what they did was fair. Tonight, the FBI is asking, was it criminal?
I first learned about it from the same news reports that I think most people learned about this.
In the years before the election, more liberal groups were being approved, while conservative groups with names like Patriot, Constitution, and Tea Party were stymied. In 2011, not a single Tea Party group was approved.
Operation Fast and Furious, an Obama administration program that let thousands of assault weapons fall into the hands of violent Mexican drug cartels. Guns found at over 170 crime scenes, including the murder of a U.S. Border Patrol agent. The Obama administration denied the program's existence and withheld information to protect political appointees. The Dallas Morning News calls this a cover-up. Will anyone be held accountable?
One single hint.
My main concern is fixing a problem.
New questions over who is to blame for the deaths of some of America's most elite warriors in a helicopter crash. Their families suggest that the White House and others are lying about their deaths and what led to them.
All of a sudden there's movies, SEAL Team 6, documentary, SEAL Team 6, SEAL Team 6, this. Where did it all start? Joe Biden from Delaware in a tuxedo with a half load on, telling everybody it was the elite Navy SEAL team.
Now to the VA scandal, which is now a criminal investigation. An extensive new report reveals more than 100,000 veterans waited months to see a doctor or never saw one at all. And some workers saying they were pressured to falsify records.
Now the VA scandal has officially become a criminal investigation.
I think I'm either low IQ or slow, or I don't know what I am. Slow Joe Biden.
Now, I have to tell you, he's a different guy. He looks different than he used to. He acts different than he used to.
I had 2 cranial aneurysms, and they literally had to take the top of my head off. They take a saw and they cut your head off.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
Houston, on the front page of the paper, Alex Jones sent child porn. None of it's true. Alex Jones lost a lawsuit for a book he wrote with Professor Jim Fetzer saying nobody died at Sandy Hook. None of it's true. Front of Facebook, front of Twitter, front of Yahoo. That's what they do. That's when the bullet hits the bone and you go, my God, they are just as evil as I thought they were. Unbelievable. Robert Barnes, constitutional lawyers here. This is about America. This is about press out of control. This is about fake news on steroids. Let's go to part of this local TV station piece. And Bob, just say pause anytime you want, and if you want to make comments. As I'm, obviously don't need to groom you, but get you the lay of the land to host shows yourself here. So just say, hey, pause when you want. We'll back in a few seconds. WFSB. This is Judge sanctions Alex Jones after he claims he was framed. Now, don't let that man say he's being framed. My goodness gracious, shut him up right now. Here it is.
Alex Jones in trouble here in Connecticut. Jones, who once called the Sandy Hook massacre a hoax, is causing another stir, and this time it's over implying that an attorney representing those families tried to frame him with child pornography. Today, both sides were in court for a hearing, and so was Channel 3 New Haven Bureau Chief Matt McFarland, who joins us live now with what happened, Matt.
Well, Dennis, the judge came down on Jones and his attorneys, sanctioning the InfoWars host, claiming and saying that his behavior was indefensible, unconscionable, and possibly criminal. They say when he made those statements online, they said, the judge said if he wanted to have an issue and he thought he was being framed and set up, she says he could have gone to authorities. She says he could have filed a motion with a court. But she says when he went on his web show and actually named attorney Chris Maddy and made these allegations, she says that's when he crossed the line.
Let's zoom in on Chris Maddy. Oh, nice little Chris Maddy. What a good American. What a good boy. You think you'll put on me what... Anyways, I'm done. Hold the war. You want it, you got it.
It's this recent roughly 20-minute rant by InfoWars host and conspiracy theorist Alex Jones, with his attorney Norm Pettis by his side, that led to lawyers meeting in this Bridgeport courtroom today. Attorneys representing Sandy Hook families in their defamation lawsuit against Jones filed a motion with the court asking for sanctions and penalties, saying they've had to reach out to law enforcement and are getting threats after Jones mentioned attorney Chris Maddy by name, showing his picture and inferring that Maddy was behind the child pornography that turned up in emails handed over during discovery. Jones and his attorney argued the emails had been sent to him by others and that no one associated with him ever opened them, even offering a reward to anyone who would provide information leading to a conviction. They say the FBI is now investigating who sent the emails. Today in court, attorneys representing Jones argued he had walked back his initial comments, claiming what Jones said wasn't a threat or harassment, and that he has a right to free speech. But the judge wasn't buying it, handing down the sanctions, saying Jones's words and actions were unacceptable.
Let me say this about Mr. Jones's conduct. His conduct, and I think the court concluded this, really threatened the integrity of judicial proceedings here in Connecticut. And that was the basis for why she imposed sanctions, and we think it was appropriate.
Now, we're told Jones's attorney will appeal today's ruling. Now, up on that 6-4 courtroom today, as part of the sanctions, the judge ruled that Jones has lost his special motion to dismiss this case. He'll also be responsible for paying the plaintiff's attorney's fees, child pornography issue. As for the defamation lawsuit, a trial date has been set for November of 2020. We're live at the mobile newsroom in Bridgeport. Matt McFarland, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
So, Bob, what's your take on that?
A couple of things. You notice how they're mixing and matching things. So this is how the media lies, or at least more successful at lying outside of libel law. What they do is, so they took something that involved a legitimate concern where there's no question. The FBI has already confirmed you're innocent. The FBI has already confirmed that someone was sending you malware. The FBI has already confirmed that someone was trying to frame you. None of that is in dispute. None of that is in controversy. But they confuse and conflate that issue with the separate issue of whether or not negative statements made about the lawyer constitute a basis for censure. And instead they make it sound like, oh, you know, Jones says he was set up, but really the judge didn't make that determination, and the judge is really sanctioning him for saying he was set up, which is all false. That isn't what happened in the court proceedings. That isn't what the judge did. That isn't what the lawyers did. That isn't what happened. So that's the creative way in which the press lies. They lie by association. They lie by affiliation. They lie by innuendo. They lie by connecting things that are actually not connected to one another to create a bigger, broader, wider, deeper lie. So part of what the media station here is doing that, and that's what the media coverage is trying to do. They're trying to say, oh, actually, the judge reviewed Jones for saying that he was set up or that he was framed. Totally false. The judge said no such thing. The judge didn't rule on that at all. In fact, it's undisputed and incontroverted that someone tried to deliberately sabotage you, deliberately undermine you, deliberately try to frame you, and the press went along with it with their false and libelous headline. That is not nobody in court has ever said anything different. So that's the biggest sort of innuendo lie that they're trying to tell. The second part there is the attempt by the defense lawyer, the plaintiff's lawyer, to defend the court's ruling by saying that somehow judicial proceedings were jeopardized. Complete nonsense. The First Amendment is clear. The First Amendment does not allow a court to say, well, I want lawyers to be especially protected, and so I'm not going to allow harmful speech to be issued against them. That's just not the case. There has to be a call for imminent lawless action under the Brandenburg decision, under the Skokie decision, under the Westboro Baptist decision. In each of those cases, people were saying things that were truly offensive. I mean, you had the Nazis marching in a neighborhood that had the highest per capita number of Holocaust victims in America. You had the Klan organizing in the Brandenburg case right outside of an African-American neighborhood.
And Bob, we're almost out of time, but in closing here, we talked last night. You want to get into the fact that we didn't do this on purpose. I got mad. They mixed together what I said. They misrepresented. We're not worried about that. Yeah, they're trying to get criminal charges, all the rest of it, whatever. Whatever. Just make us more of a martyr. People don't know this is true. So fill your hand if that's what you want to do politically. But you made the point that the judge was probably going to throw out our slap deal anyways, the way she's been behaving. But now they've got an actual appeal. We got a good chance of winning by this precipitous action.
No doubt. They made a mistake in the tactical decisions they made, and the judge made a mistake. Because the judge made it clear that there's, frankly, a lack of respect in the Connecticut court system for the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. The First Amendment, the lawsuit itself is a slap in the face to the First Amendment of the United States Constitution, and the court's order is a slap in the face to the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. And now that issue is clearly, cleanly presented.
All right.
So I think consequently, the protection of the First Amendment of the United States, the lead person doing it, the lead organization doing it is InfoWars. You are the key to defending the First Amendment for everybody.
I have no criminal record, no history of it in another state. It's clearly, they just made all this up. All right, God bless you, Bob. We'll talk to you in the studio soon. We'll be right back with the big news.
Hey, by now I'm sure that most discounts and unbelievable saving basis at InfoWarsStore.com. But check this out. Now you can earn even bigger discounts at the InfoWars store by using our Patriot Points reward program. Hey, you like the sound of that? It's our way of saying thank you, America, for supporting the InfoWars. Look, earning points is easy. All you got to do is go to InfoWarsStore.com and click on the Patriot Points button and sign up today. Spend $1, earn 5 points. It's that easy. So you're starting to get the picture here. This is a rewards program that gives you powerful discounts for buying your favorite products at the InfoWars store. So check it out. The Patriot Points Reward Program at InfoWarsStore.com or call 1-888-253-3139. Yep.
Frank in North Carolina, thanks for holding so long. Go ahead.
Yeah, Alec, I just have to say something, man. It seems like every time I turn on your broadcast, you're bragging. It just gets old, man.
I'm going to shut you down right now, okay? We're taking calls about your nomination. Do you understand they're having congressional hearings trying to shut us down? Do you understand I'm ringing the alarm? If that was happening to anybody else, I'd be freaked out. I mean, what's it going to take? Us being shut down? Is that what you want, Frank?
You know what, Alec?
Hey, put him on pause again. Hey, Frank, do you understand it's not bragging to say we are the tip of the spear, we're under attack, we need your help? As much begging as I do, we can barely pay the bills and grow in the face of this. I'm not going to just stop growth and let them start pushing us backwards. You understand? I need your help, Frank. I need your help, Frank.
Go to InfoWarsStore.com right now and help fund the InfoWar.
Do you understand? I need your help, Frank.
Controlling the Human Mind, one of the most important books that I've ever written, deals with the whole concept of mind effects, mind control, going back to the historical perspective as well, as sort of the ways in which we might be able to enhance our performance. One of my classics, all of my books and videos are available at the InfoWarsStore.com. That's a place to go, make copies of those videos, get them out to your friends, but support the InfoWars. This is an opportunity to not just get good information, well documented, over 1,350 footnotes in those 4 books, and the videos are the same quality of good information. Most important one out right now, Earth Changes. This is talking about a different view of what's happening with climate change, much different than the propaganda we hear being pushed by the environmental communities around the world. Take a look at our books and videos, support InfoWars. This is a way for you to get involved and join us and be one of the warriors with us in changing the world.
Our powerful line of fluoride-free products is the perfect gift for yourself or others who are exploring a healthier, happier lifestyle. With options ranging from toothpaste to oral spray, it's easy to find the perfect option for you. Super Blue Toothpaste is the fan-favorite fluoride-free toothpaste that every Info Warrior loves. Powered by iodine and nano silver, it's designed to deliver a powerful clean while supporting good oral health and fresh breath. Available in 2 refreshing flavors. Enjoy a minty fresh flavor made with peppermint oil, or try our bubblegum flavor. Super Blue Immune Gargle is the only option for on-the-go immune system support like no other. With a scientifically proven patented ingredient, Silver Sol, in 3 different sizes, you can take it wherever you go. Support good oral health with our one-of-a-kind Super Blue products. Don't miss out on revolutionizing your morning routine. Head to InfoWarsStore.com and get our line of Super Blue products today.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
And it's time for humanity to stand up in the InfoWar and say, I don't know what's going to happen at the end of this, but you want to fight. You better believe you can fight.
From the front lines of the information war, it's Alex Jones.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm hosting the 4th hour today. Ellie Weaver's going to pop in. I've got 3 really powerful reports that I saw on YouTube, and so many of these people I've never heard of, and I just get stuck for hours watching their great research. So I want to talk about those folks and alert you to their presence, though many of you are probably already aware of who they are. And one of them I found out about because they got banned on YouTube because there was a big protest. I went and watched it. Very intellectual from a liberal perspective, not a leftist perspective, but a liberal perspective. That's coming up next hour. Paul Watson did a very informative report on cyberpunk. It came out in the 1980s that a black writer created. And people are wondering how they predicted everything so exactly. I'm going to explain something. I'm not saying that the author of the cyberpunk series is a bad guy. My dad was in research science when he was in high school. And he was in Plan 2 at UT, where high school kids went to UT, cool kids went to UT, okay? And they're like, the public doesn't know about our nuclear reactors or our computers, or by the time he was going to UT as a adult, young adult, they already had CD-ROM, all this stuff. What you're shown in the news and what they admit to is only the tip of the iceberg. And so we're going to play that Cyberpunk, the eerily accurate prediction of Cyberpunk 2020 next hour as well with my analysis. So it's a big fourth hour today. And we're doing a lot of exciting stuff. I bought Millie Weaver and crew, because they're contractors, an RV. Our RV burned up in a big famous fire that happened in Round Rock a few months ago. It was like hundreds of RVs burned up, some electrical fire. So I took the money from the insurance of that, and I just bought them an RV. I didn't give it to them. I gave them an interest-free loan over the years, but I'm not bragging either. They're on fire. Caitlin Bennett works with her. She hired Caitlin Bennett, or they're contractors together. And then she goes around with her husband, and Caitlin goes around with her fiance. And they get physically attacked, and they get everything. And Caitlin Bennett comes along and says, I've got an idea. Or I got her to town. They were so busy shooting stuff, going down to the abortion rallies, the pro-abortion rallies to cover them, getting beat up by those women, that I could never get with Caitlin, even have time to go, how can I finance, while I still have money, getting you on your feet even more because you kick it. You see, I'm going to go back to this when I hit all the news. When I get up there talking about Paul, me throwing him out of the nest, that's not like bragging. It had to be done. Anybody ever read Oliver Stone's and Melis's Conan the Barbarian? It's a very good movie. Conan the Destroyer is a terrible movie. But Conan's already the top gladiator in the world, in the known world, and he's sleeping outside. They come up with an axe and hack off the chains and say, go, because it's just not right to have somebody who's successful and strong and good under your wings anymore. It's time for them to go.
I don't know how to get you there.
It's time to be emancipated. It's time to not be a slave. I'm not saying Paul's my slave, but I know Paul. I talk to folks that know him well in England. It's like, yeah, I like Alex, like what he does, but he is kind of a maniac, and I want to be my own person. And I'm like, well, good. Let me help you be your own person. And it's the same thing with Owen. It's the same thing with Millie. It's the same thing with all these people. I've probably got 15 reporters I won't hire. I don't have the money to do it. But I'll tell you this, the reason why Millie pitched me this lower tier RV, but it's new, let's probably have one break a lot. It's one of the lower end ones, but it's kind of the plain Jane one that has a good record. I'm like, yeah, I'm paying for hotels and I'm paying for airplanes everywhere. It's cheaper just to get you the RV. But I said, the great part about it is it's yours and you just go into the future. And hopefully you pay me back. But I'm in the process here with the enemy trying to shut us down of trying to get as many people as I can ready, trained, in the field. And I want to really expand that operation, but that takes capital. I mean, take the Marine Corps or the U.S. Army or any military that has a history. You don't have the officers and the people trying to stay in charge forever and looking down on the troops. You're looking for who's the best in the organization to promote them up and teach them everything you know so they'll be better than you. And then when it comes time to die, I don't mean physically, but time to be destroyed, in case you get shot when you're out there, leading armies on the battlefield, you need to have other officer corps ready to step in and take action. And we've had a 25-year run, ladies and gentlemen. But let me tell you, when they're running front page Twitter for 2 days, that I'm sitting out child porn when it's not true, and that I write books about stuff I didn't write, and totally made up, that means they're letting me know, buddy, this is the last straw. Well, guess what? I get it, and I'm not letting them down. So do whatever you got to do. You have to deal with Jesus Christ. And if it's God's plan I'm destroyed, that's the way it is. I have no fear. I have fear, and I'm about to cover what I have fear of. I have fear of letting monsters like Hillary Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein and others continue to do what they do. And so, if vampires were real, and I opened the door, and there was a vampire bent over one of my kids about to bite him, I would attack that vampire with everything I got. Doesn't mean I want to fight some 6'7" vampire with superhuman strength, but I'm going to do it. And there's a chance I might actually get a good stab into him. Okay, maybe he'll limp off and somebody else gets him. The point is that you want to fight, man, you got one. You understand? You got one. You understand that? So, but I think the listeners need to understand we've entered Mordor. InfoWars, myself particularly, is now right down to the wire with the enemy. We've grievously wounded them. We've grievously hurt them. And they intend to take us out of the fight. But however the breaks happen, however the dice roll, however Providence works, we know God's on our side, and that's what matters. And it's God's plan. Satan is not in control. Satan is only in control of his minions, his pathetic servants. So thank God you're not part of that. When we come back, the huge stack that I didn't even have the will to cover yesterday. Okay, because I reread all this morning. I spent about 30 minutes looking over this, and it's when you understand that convicted child traffickers, child sex traffickers run Amber Alert, you're not in Kansas anymore. And when you realize Hillary, it's on NBC News, was caught running a pedophile ring, and that's why they brought up the whole Pizzagate thing and twisted all that to have one part of it not true so they can discredit the whole thing. It's just unbelievable. So what I want to do is I want to really just take on the enemy that we got. And I just want to signal to everybody, all the other signals have been real. All the other flags I've shot up have been, hey, we need help, thank you for the help. But man, now I'm just telling you, we need to provision this operation as if no more funding is going to come in for a while, and we've got to dig in ahead of election 2020, and we've got to stand behind the president, and we've got to just realize this is not a regular election. This is not a regular time to be politically involved. This is war. This isn't like going out and having some baked beans and some hamburgers, 4th of July, baby. This is what the 4th of July is all about. And the globalists are trying to silence me and you and everybody else with intimidation, and we need a strong message to them that we're not backing down, we're not giving in, and that's finances. That's hard, cold cash and products sold and donations at InfoWarsStore.com. We make it easy, store-wide free shipping, 50% off, double Patriot points, so 5% on every order, that's 10% off your next order. Additional 10% off auto ship. There's no excuse. We've got the highest rated fish oil. We've got the highest rated turmeric. We've got the best iodine. We've got the best coffee. We've got the best natural sleep aid knockout. We've got the best fluoride-free toothpaste. We've got the best, the best, the best, the best, the best. The best we can bring you at the best prices, so it's a win-win. InfoWarsStore.com. Commit now. Say a prayer for InfoWars. Say a prayer for America's children in the world. Say a prayer for peace. Because evil knows we're on march, and they're counter-striking right now.
It's time to show them what a real alpha male looks like with one of our most powerful products ever made, Alpha Power. As you age, your body can lose testosterone over time. With the incredible ingredients in this formula, we can help you beat the test of time and assist in restoring that lost energy and mood that comes with time of day. Alpha Power's incredible or enhance your day-to-day while encouraging hormonal balance. Perfect by itself or with super male vitality in the true alpha male path. Alpha Power can help boost performance, help maintain normal testosterone levels, support healthy cholesterol, and more. Let Alpha Power help bring you to the peak of your optimal health. Don't fall short on energy in the fight against tyranny. Show the world what a true alpha male looks like today with Alpha Power. Head to InfoWarsStore.com today.
Ice cream, and it's like Google goes, I'm wearing a pink and a green sock, and I got a little beard, and I talk like this. You know what those guys do when they get on jets? They go, bring me 15 hookers now and get the drugs ready and take me to private islands. Get the satanic rituals ready. You don't just think the enemy has sleeper cells, do you? I love it! They told me directly, if I don't want to be sued, if I don't want to be attacked, if I don't want to be, you name it, stop reporting on this. And guess what I'm going to say to the big bank, the New York Federal Reserve, everybody else? Here's what I'm going to say to them. Hey, you ready? This is what I'm saying to you right now. You got that message? Never going to stop. Never going to stop. Going to beat you, too. We're in a fight here. I got like 2 battle axes fighting them. They're hacking at me. I'm like, ah! But you don't want to come out of mommy's basement. You want to sit there and suck on your own little wee-wee and play video games and like you're this big, badass person. You're a soldier on the internet battling everybody. A lot of liberals have broken their conditioning because of it. Just keep making fun of me. Keep attacking. I love it. I'm totally destroying you. So under U.S. Code Title 50, Chapter 32, subsection 1528, paragraph B. Is that true? You nailed that, right? Yes, yes. Oh, man, you want to fight, you're going to get one. I'm going to lose my voice, but I just want you to know. The majority of the frogs in most areas in the United States are now gay. But it's like a rape vape. It looks all nice and candy, puppy. That's how they act all liberal. Oh my gosh, communism's really good. You're gonna like it, get the car. How do you like that Wonder Man? Oh yeah, you like that one? See it again? Oh yeah. Woo! Yeah, that's Goblin God. This broadcast is infamous. I'm Alex Jones. Sunday 4 to 6 p.m. You're on the air. Hey, Alex, and all the InfoWars, can you hear me? Yes, sir, I can. Hey, guys, literally, I have waited, and I'm a very patient man, and I'm a man of God, and I believe in Christ, and I believe that we can look.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
Told you that Senator Josh Hawley, former Attorney General of Missouri, top of his class, American patriot. I get a good feeling about him, not just his words. Talk about the value of family and of a little fishing pond behind your house, and of just being hardworking and not wanting to be part of Hollywood or the globalist system, but just wanting to be on the PTA or wanting to help fix old people's cars or just being a good human. That's so fulfilling. Loving Jesus. And he's been fighting Google since he was the Attorney General. And I've watched him over and over again when he brings out the Chi-Coms and the globalists and says it's time for action. All the bills he introduced are amazing. So I've been singling him out as the type of leadership we need. Just watching the work he's done the last year or so. Josh Hawley takes on big tech, which means they're going to come after him. You understand? That's like taking on the CIA and everybody else at the same time. Josh Hawley takes on big tech censors with a new bill that would strip them of immunity. I'm going to cover this more in the next hour. And New York lawmakers okay allowing illegal aliens to get a driver's license and, of course, to vote. And we've got Ebola spreading now to multiple countries, getting outside Africa. There's over 300,000 flee violence in Congo and a massive Ebola outbreak, breakdown of society, newswars.com. That's directly from the UN. And they're all being told, come to the U.S. unvetted to Texas. And they are. Trump's being called a terrorist for saying that he wants to screen people for Ebola. Now, you fly in from England or something, they check your passport. Not if you're coming in illegally from Africa, from Congo. You go straight into the country. The Democrats still control the courts, many areas, and it's just a nightmare situation. Trump's trying to change that, so are we. Okay, let's get into this stack right here. And then I'll go a little bit the next hour with it, because there's no way we're going to finish up with this right now. Get that NBC News report ready for me. Thank you. And this is why they want my head on a pike, politically. Here's a story out of the News Punch. And there's new reports that this is being investigated again. NBC News, Hillary Clinton covered up pedophile ring at State Department. And you wonder why Matt Lauer, for all his problems, got let go. He didn't do a good enough job covering this up. And I'll give you the latest developments on this front. Massive pedophile ring busted by cops. Let's go ahead and roll this clip.
Over here, we are following this breaking news out of Washington. Some serious allegations this morning facing the State Department.
That's right. According to internal State Department memos, the agency might have called off or intervened in investigation into possibly illegal and inappropriate behavior within its ranks, allegedly to protect jobs and avoid scandals. This concerns the time of state. We want to get right to NBC's chief White House correspondent, Chuck Todd, with the latest. Chuck, good morning to you.
Good morning, Savannah. You know, there's an old saying in Washington that the cover-up is worse than the crime. But in this case, both parts of it are disturbing. Allegations of prostitution and pedophilia, and allegations that those crimes were somehow covered up or not looked into. So the State Department this morning is having to respond to those claims and those investigations of misconduct by State Department officials, including by an ambassador and security agents attached to then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. And the allegations are that these investigations were whitewashed, quashed altogether, and that those orders came from high up.
NBC News has obtained documents related to ongoing investigations into some disturbing allegations involving State Department personnel and at least one ambassador. A State Department memo says the ambassador, quote, routinely ditched his protective security detail in order to solicit sexual favors from both prostitutes and minor children. The memo also says a top State Department official directed department investigators to, quote, cease the investigation into the ambassador's conduct. It's just one of what another document describes as, quote, several examples of undue influence from top state officials.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the breaking news that just came in. Andrew Gillum said, Hillary, you must be exhausted on Twitter because you've been running through a real Donald Trump small mind for a long time. So a groveling, sycophantic statement. And she says, I can handle it, blessed with stamina. And thankfully, I didn't stay up last night watching InfoWars. And then they know. This is the audience that got Trump elected over the top. We're the reboot of America. We're the 1776 poll star between myself and Trump. And it's true. It's the people. And then, as they say, the mad prophet of the Tea Party, as they said 8 years ago, and then Trump. And that's why they want to shut down. Because we're about to do this. You just saw that report. Well, it's back in the news. It's being investigated because of the Nixon cult trial. It's now come out in court that Hillary Clinton was involved and that they had cult members planting stuff on computers so that they could spy on Hillary, they could spy on each other. The Brothmans were involved, being spied on. The cult was getting women into it, saying it was feminist empowerment by worshiping men and starving yourself to death for Lucifer. And children being kidnapped out of Mexico and disappearing. Crime boss closing arguments in the NXIVM trial. Satanism, Mexico child trafficking, Hillary, Schumer, and Gillibrand ties. And it goes on to all of the different child porn featuring Mexican child sex slaves as young as 5 years old. There were human breeding rituals that are satanic and human sacrifices. Do you think the reason who's being branded should be held to the table almost like a sacrifice? Rainier said to his one-time co-conspirator. This is a feeder group into the real Satan groups, like I told you. NXIVM had the financial records of ally Chuck Schumer and Hillary Clinton's emails. The sex cult's deep opposition research files with political enemies included, we now learn, Roger Stone. That's right. Came up in trial. Documents from the archives and shedding light on how the sex cult stored data on top politicians, including Chuck Schumer, whom the cult viewed as a friendly ally, according to ex-employee Frank Parlato and Hillary Clinton. And this goes on for, this is a 12-page article. And then this is all over even mainstream news, but it's getting no attention. And remember, Stone got implicated in this cult only because they had a bunch of sub-companies. And they said, we want you to come speak to our group. Well, Stone's a public speaker. He came and spoke. It was really weird. He thought it was a cult. Got out of it. They were doing that, trying to compromise him, but he smelled it and got out. So Claire W. Brothman, an heiress to the Seagram Company business empire, allegedly implanted a keylogger virus on a computer of her late father, Edgar N. Brothman Sr. So they always go after rich men's daughters and then get them to do that to their husbands or fathers. Got to watch out, folks. So officials with the NXIVM Corporation could secretly monitor his emails, including his exchanges with world leaders and Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton, according to reports. This is just all a bunch of scum spying on each other. And again, they're all involved with Epstein and the Lolita Express and just all of it. It's unbelievable. And then people like Alan Dershowitz expose it, so they try to frame him with made-up crap. And that ties into Jeffrey Epstein. It's all made up. So if you expose it, they say you're part of it. It's just incredible. And here's some of the target files and who they went after. They were targeting Brothman and Rothschilds. Can you imagine being Rothschilds and Brothmans with all their tens of millions of dollars just laying around? All the people trying to get into it, all the rats and all the leftist crap. Why don't you just bring Jesus into your life and stop the devil worshiping and everything will be okay? You know? I didn't even think the surface there. There's a lot that are coming up. The UN's own admission that Hillary's operatives run child kidnapping rings. The Associated Press reports.
I don't know if you were happy that day, but I read on your Facebook page you were getting a vaccination, you were singing.
A PhD immunologist and vaccine proponent recently admitted during a conference that babies are only given shots up to age 1 in order to train the parents to get their children into the medical system, that the vaccines are completely worthless. The notion that babies are being injected with vaccines in the first year of their life simply in order to brainwash parents into feeding their children into the medical system is an extremely disturbing premise.
Hey, how would you like to take InfoWars with you wherever you go? Well, now you can do just that with the new official InfoWars app. And here's the best part. It is absolutely free. At the Apple Store and Google Play, you can join the InfoWar today. Check it out right now at InfoWars.com/app.
It's the InfoWars official app. Take it on the globalist at point-blank range. And with your help spreading it, and with your help downloading it, we are unstoppable.
What you have witnessed is the biggest development in free speech in the Western world's history. This is a digital AI-informed.
NBC News, Hillary Clinton covered up pedophile ring at the State Department. Hillary attacked me on Twitter last night. YouTube deletes channel of Spain's populist Vox Party. Crime boss, closing arguments in the NXIVM trial. Oh, and look. New Life Children's Refuge case, even from Wikipedia, even the left can't whitewash it. Laura Silsby, who got convicted of child sex trafficking out of Haiti for the Clinton Foundation. Well, guess what? She changed her name, and she now runs the group that controls Amber Alert for missing kids. That's a key position, isn't it? Right where you need to be. The Clinton-Silsby trafficking scandal and how the media attempted to cover it up. Zero Hedge. Boy, when they deposed me in Sandy Hook, they want to know all about Zero Hedge. Who runs it? Who's behind it? And I don't know. I just know they don't like pedophiles and they're badass. And I just know it's good to know I got other folks out there like me. Feels good to not be the last of the Mohicans. Oh, we're not the last. We're the rebirth. All of you. You can be black, you can be white, you can be brown, you can be pink. You can be old, you can be young, you can be male, female. If you believe in protecting children's innocence, you believe in humanity, and you believe in God, you believe in the future, and you're not anti-human, well then, we're on the same team. Clinton brokers deal over Haiti orphans' abductions. Wow. Wow. That's mainstream news, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. Look at that. And then it goes through all of it right here. Clinton Foundation tied to child trafficker Laura Silsby. Trying to sneak kids out of Haiti. God knows where they go. Laura Silsby was convicted of kidnapping 33 Haitian children who had families. She changed her name to Laura Gaylor. Now works for the U.S. government. And she got a job running the system that gives the index info to Amber Alert. She works for Amber Alerts as a service, which means she knows how to locate those missing children or know who might be looking for them. Important place to be after you're convicted child trafficker. But hey, a lot of kids flowing in now, those open borders, a lot of fresh hamburger. The Global Intelligence Files. Legal advisor to U.S. Haiti missionaries arrested. Guess what they were arrested for? Can you guess? Human trafficking of children. But there's a new article out. This is being promoted by mainstream media and the Huffington Post. Children can handle the kink of pride parades, say SJW parents when they let their little kids get out there and see naked men and their genitals hanging out. Things I won't even show adults here on this show. The men come over and rub their erect genitals on little kids, and everyone howls with pleasure. The power of exercising pedophilia in the open makes Satan smile upon them. AP exclusive, UN child sex ring left victims but no arrests, including many deaths. Go read the 11-page report. Oh, top Clinton donor in Arkansas arrested for child porn distribution. That's mainstream media, bigleaguepolitics.com, also reporting on it. Oh, and Trump's busting the pedophiles. That makes them mad.
Sometimes grown-ups touch kids in ways they don't like. I was wrestling with my uncle, and it changed. It felt icky. When something feels funny, it's hard to know what to do. He said, I shouldn't tell anyone. If it ever happens to you, say no. No, then go. Go. And tell someone you trust. Tell. Say no. Then go. And tell. A message from the American Medical Association.
Journalism. Whoa. Whoa, I better be more circumspect in my answer. What about that? Go ahead, the next question. And by the way, that's one of the things that, as these guys will tell you, I'm not always their favorite subject, but the truth of the matter is, the reason we are who we are is called a free press. Continue to finish it.
Hotel, motel, makes you wanna cry.
AlexJones.com studios, it's Alex Jones.
You know, one time I sang this in my Dodge Challenger, roaring down the road with Dave Mustaine here in Austin, Texas. You know, we heard Dave's got throat cancer, and you called him and prayed for him. But I sang this whole song with him on the radio. Go into a show! That was better than going to one of his concerts. Broken bones coming up. Getting took. I'm here to tell you, it's harder than it looks. A long way to the top if you want to bring down world government. We're getting real close. Hillary Clinton tweeted out last night about Trump's event. She said she can handle it. Blessed with stamina, and thankfully I didn't stay up late last night watching InfoWars. What she meant by Trump's re-election launch, that was a gigantic extravaganza. Woo! They are pissed. I'll show you the next segment, or maybe now. Nobody's coming to their events, maybe a couple thousand, even when the tickets are free. Nobody's going to their Clinton play that they have in New York that the whole media has been pushing and promoting on Broadway. That's been canceled a month early. Nobody, ladies and gentlemen, nobody likes Hillary. Nobody's visiting with her. Nobody's covering what Biden does. Biden might get 200, 300 people out. They're so scared. And so she sees Trump, ladies and gentlemen, and what happened last night is so incredibly scary, and she accurately knows that it's InfoWars. They have a clip in there where CNN pulls out and cuts the feed because they're chanting CNN sucks, and they don't know what to do. Isn't that just beautiful? Now, Paul Watson did a report. We're going to go ahead and roll right now. We'll talk about it after the break. The eerily accurate predictions of Cyberpunk. Here it is.
Cyberpunk 2020 was a 1988 tabletop role-playing game, the second version of which was set in a fictional 2020. The game takes place in a dystopian future where multiculturalism has failed and America is, quote, divided by class, race, and economics. The main themes of the game pertain to futuristic transport, weaponry, and transhumanism, but it's the cultural and sociological tropes featured in the game that make some of its